The Federal Emergency Management Agency, commonly known as FEMA, plays a crucial role in coordinating responses to disasters that occur within the United States. While FEMA's primary mission is to assist citizens during emergencies and to support the nation in disaster preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation, there have been growing concerns about the agency's underlying intentions. Understanding the true motives of FEMA is vital for proactive preparedness and safeguarding our families in times of crisis. This video aims to shed light on the less apparent aspects of FEMA's operations. It is imperative to be informed about such hypothesized hidden agendas, to question and critically analyze the agency's activities, rather than creating a sense of fear or panic. The purpose of unveiling these potential agendas is to empower individuals and families with the knowledge they need to stay safe. Moreover, the video offers practical safety tips that every family can implement. By preparing adequately and remaining informed, families can mitigate the risks associated with disasters, ensuring better preparedness and resilience. As we delve into FEMA's concealed objectives, it is equally important to focus on actionable steps that can enhance our safety. The insight provided in this video is not merely for theoretical understanding, but for practical application in our daily lives, reinforcing the notion that knowledge combined with action can significantly contribute to family protection during emergencies. Chapter 1. The Public Face of FEMA. From the general public's perspective, FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, serves as a bedrock institution committed to ensuring American citizens' safety and well-being during natural and man-made disasters. FEMA's stated mission revolves around helping people before, during, and after disasters while prioritizing preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation. With the slogan, "Helping people before, during, and after disasters," FEMA positions itself as a guardian of public safety and a steadfast ally in times of crisis. This mission is executed through various high-profile programs and initiatives designed to resonate with the public and build trust. For example, the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, aims to reduce the socioeconomic impact of floods by offering affordable insurance to property owners and promoting floodplain management regulations. The READY campaign focuses on raising public awareness about the importance of emergency preparedness, encouraging citizens and communities to plan, prepare supplies, and stay informed about potential hazards. Another notable initiative is the Individual and Community Preparedness Division, ICPD, which empowers individuals and communities through education and training, helping them become more resilient against disasters. Through these visible programs, FEMA also endeavors to cultivate a trustworthy image, presenting itself as an organization that stands ready to protect and assist at any moment. Regular drills, transparency in communication, and active engagement with local and state governments further reinforce this image. Public relations campaigns often highlight successful disaster recovery stories, emphasizing FEMA's crucial role in restoring normalcy and rebuilding communities. However, despite these visible efforts, public perception and trust in FEMA can be a mixed bag. High-profile responses to disasters such as Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Maria have significantly impacted FEMA's reputation. Criticisms of slow response times, bureaucratic red tape, and inadequate support have led to public skepticism. These instances underscore the challenge FEMA faces in balancing its public image with operational effectiveness. Nonetheless, continuous improvements and reforms have been made to restore confidence and address past shortcomings, as seen in more recent disaster response efforts where FEMA took proactive and efficient measures. While FEMA's public face offers a clear narrative of dedicated service and societal protection, there's always more beneath the surface. Public-facing programs are indeed a vital part of FEMA's strategy, but understanding the full scope of FEMA's operations, including lesser-known initiatives and internal processes, provides a more comprehensive picture of the agency's role and objectives. In examining these hidden dimensions, it becomes evident that FEMA's framework is deeply complex, interwoven with layers of responsibility, coordination, and occasionally contention. Chapter 2. Uncovering Hidden Agendas. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, has been at the center of numerous historical controversies and scandals, which have led the public to question the agency's true intentions and effectiveness. One prominent controversy dates back to Hurricane Katrina in 2005, where FEMA's delayed response and inadequate preparedness drew significant scrutiny. Reports of mismanagement, slow distribution of aid, and poor coordination with local authorities painted a picture of an agency ill-equipped to handle large-scale disasters. This incident raised serious concerns about FEMA's capability and the decisions guiding its operations. Moreover, several questionable decisions and policies implemented by FEMA have further fueled suspicions about the agency's integrity. For instance, FEMA's use of temporary housing trailers during Katrina's aftermath came under fire when it was revealed that the trailers were contaminated with formaldehyde, causing health problems for many displaced residents. Such decisions raise red flags suggesting either gross negligence or a lack of regard for the well-being of disaster-stricken individuals. Furthermore, FEMA's handling of funds and resources has been criticized, with allegations of financial mismanagement and wasteful spending coming to light. These issues underscore a pattern of questionable decision-making that warrants closer examination. Insider accounts and whistleblower testimonies have been instrumental in exposing potential hidden motives behind FEMA's actions. Former employees and insiders have come forward to reveal instances of bureaucratic inefficiency, prioritization of certain demographics over others, and internal pressure to downplay or conceal failures. Whistleblowers have highlighted how political influence and internal politics often shape FEMA's responses, leading to disparities in how aid and resources are allocated. These testimonies provide a glimpse into the possible motivations behind the agency's actions, suggesting that FEMA may not always operate with the sole intent of protecting the public. The combination of historical controversies, questionable decisions, and insider revelations presents a troubling narrative about FEMA's hidden agendas. It is imperative for citizens to stay informed and vigilant, understanding that an agency tasked with disaster response and recovery holds a significant level of power and responsibility. By critically analyzing FEMA's past actions and policies, we can identify areas for improvement and advocate for more transparent and accountable operations. Ultimately, protecting our families and communities depends on our ability to hold institutions like FEMA to the highest standards of integrity and performance. Chapter 3. Impact on public safety. In the context of public safety, the Federal Emergency Management Agency plays a pivotal role in coordinating responses to disasters, yet its effectiveness has often come under scrutiny. An analysis of FEMA's response to major disasters, particularly Hurricane Katrina, reveals several critical points of concern. During Hurricane Katrina, FEMA's response time and the deployment of resources were widely criticized. The sense of chaos and unpreparedness not only exacerbated the suffering of those directly affected, but also highlighted systemic issues within the agency. Reports emerged of delayed aid, miscommunication, and a lack of coordination with local agencies, painting a grim picture of the organization's ability to manage large-scale emergencies effectively. Instances of mismanagement and inefficiency are numerous and well documented. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, there were shocking accounts of supplies being delivered to the wrong locations, and crucial resources such as food, water, and medical assistance being slow to reach those in desperate need. The ill-fated FEMA trailers, meant to provide temporary housing for displaced residents, became a symbol of dysfunction as they were found to emit dangerous levels of formaldehyde, posing serious health risks. Such failures were not isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern of bureaucratic sluggishness and oversight problems within FEMA. The agency's often reactive rather than proactive stance further undermines public trust and raises questions about its preparedness for future disasters. The potential dangers of relying solely on FEMA for emergency aid extend beyond logistical failures to encompass systemic vulnerabilities. The centralized nature of FEMA's operations can lead to delays in getting help to those in need, as decisions get bogged down in administrative processes, far removed from the ground realities of disaster zones. In situations where rapid response is critical, these delays can have lethal consequences. Moreover, the agency's dependency on federal oversight means that political influences can sometimes override immediate humanitarian needs, creating disparities and inequities in the allocation of aid. Further, there is a danger of neglecting local and community-based responses when FEMA is seen as the primary entity responsible for disaster relief. Local organizations and community groups often have a better understanding of the unique needs of their areas and can act more quickly and effectively in the immediate aftermath of a disaster. However, the overwhelming emphasis on FEMA can sideline these invaluable local efforts, resulting in a one-size-fits-all approach that may not suit every community's needs. Empowering local agencies and fostering community resilience should be integral components of any robust emergency management strategy. FEMA's hidden agendas, whether perceived or real, pose additional risks to families relying on the organization during crises. Claims of financial misallocations, overly bureaucratic procedures, and the agency's close ties to various governmental and non-governmental stakeholders feed into a narrative of mistrust and concern. Families must be vigilant and proactive in their preparedness strategies, not solely relying on FEMA but also understanding the importance of personal and community resilience. Educating oneself about disaster preparedness, maintaining emergency supplies, and having a solid family evacuation plan are vital steps in ensuring safety and security during emergencies. Chapter 4. Legal loopholes and overreach. In analyzing the intricate framework of executive orders and laws that grant FEMA extensive powers, it becomes increasingly apparent how these legal structures can be manipulated to serve ends far removed from their original purposes. Executive orders, often issued under the guise of national security and emergency preparedness, bestow upon FEMA the authority to commandeer resources, control transportation, and even relocate populations. Though these powers might appear justifiable in dire circumstances, they skirt dangerously close to infringing upon civil liberties and individual rights. The ambiguous language often embedded within these orders allows for a broad interpretation that opens the door to potential overreach and misuse of authority. A glaring example of this potential for abuse is the notorious Executive Order 12656, which provides a framework for FEMA to assume control over all governmental functions in the event of a national emergency. Conceived during the Cold War era, this order empowers FEMA to oversee national resources, workforce, and citizen relocation. Such sweeping powers are alarming, as they bypass the usual checks and balances essential in a democratic society. History has shown us that power, when concentrated in the hands of a few, can lead to significant overreach. FEMA's ability to operate with minimal oversight amplifies this risk, making it more susceptible to exploitation. Real-life cases underscore how FEMA's actions have sometimes overstepped the intended boundaries and encroached on civil liberties. One notable incident occurred during the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, when FEMA's response raised numerous ethical and legal questions. The agency's decision to seize control of local law enforcement operations and restrict media access to affected areas was met with widespread outrage. Critics argued that these actions not only hindered the flow of information, but also violated First Amendment rights. Moreover, the agency's accelerated use of eminent domain to commandeer private properties for emergency relief efforts ignited fierce debates about the balance between public good and individual rights. This example demonstrates the precarious thin line FEMA treads between legitimate emergency response and autocratic overreach. Another troubling example is FEMA's involvement in post-9/11 security measures. By coordinating with other federal agencies under the pretext of heightened security, FEMA's enforcement tactics often bypass traditional legal avenues, leading to instances where citizens' privacy and freedom of movement were undermined. Reports of arbitrary detentions and interrogations, based on scant evidence, reflected a disturbing trend, where emergency powers were stretched beyond their intended limits. The lack of transparency and accountability during these operations only contributed to an atmosphere of fear and mistrust among the populace. These cases exemplify how FEMA's extensive powers, if left unchecked, can venture into realms of overreach that infringe upon civil liberties. What is more worrisome is the framework supporting these powers. It is riddled with legal loopholes that FEMA can exploit. For instance, laws that vaguely define what constitutes an emergency grant FEMA the latitude to declare emergencies based on subjective criteria. This subjectivity can lead to scenarios where the declaration of emergencies becomes a matter of convenience rather than necessity, thereby granting FEMA carte blanche to act without the requisite oversight or justification. Moreover, the agency's ability to access and use the vast data resources collected by other governmental bodies raises significant concerns around privacy and data misuse. With the advent of advanced surveillance technologies and data analytics, FEMA's reach extends into monitoring civilian activities under the umbrella of emergency preparedness. The potential for this data to be used for purposes beyond original intent, including curbing dissent or targeting specific groups, underscores the dangers of unfettered access to information. Chapter 5. Alternative Safety Measures. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, often claims to be at the forefront of ensuring public safety during emergencies. However, underlying layers of bureaucracy and inefficiencies reveal a different picture, prompting concerned citizens to seek alternative safety measures. A crucial aspect of this approach involves embracing self-reliance and independent preparation, which starkly contrasts with the over-reliance on FEMA's uncertain response mechanisms. FEMA's track record is tainted with numerous instances where its ineptitude has been glaringly apparent. During disasters like Hurricane Katrina, the agency's response was severely delayed and riddled with mismanagement, ultimately costing lives and causing prolonged suffering. In such cases, the importance of self-reliance becomes evident. Families must take it upon themselves to prepare, ensuring they are not solely dependent on an overburdened and inefficient system. Building a family emergency plan is a critical step toward self-reliance. This involves clearly understanding the risks and potential threats specific to one's locality. FEMA's generalized guidelines often overlook the particular needs of diverse communities, which can be detrimental in crisis situations. By developing a tailored emergency plan, families can address their unique vulnerabilities and needs, ensuring a more effective response during emergencies. This proactive approach starkly contrasts with FEMA's reactive and often inadequate interventions. Another significant aspect of alternative safety measures is the creation of a comprehensive family emergency kit. While FEMA provides a basic checklist for such kits, many of its recommendations fail to account for extended periods of self-sufficiency that might be necessary due to delayed response times. The agency's standard guidelines often appear superficial and uncomprehensive when analyzing the depth required for true preparedness. By meticulously customizing their emergency kits, individuals can ensure they have the essential items needed to survive and maintain a semblance of normalcy during prolonged disruptions. The need for alternative safety measures also stems from FEMA's history of politicization and lack of transparency. Concerns have been raised about the agency's questionable allocation of resources and prioritization of relief efforts based on political motives rather than genuine need. Such practices jeopardize the equity and fairness that should underpin emergency response and recovery efforts. Independent preparation mitigates the risks posed by these shortcomings, allowing families to take control of their own safety and well-being. In addition to these practical steps, community engagement and education on self-reliance are crucial. Forming neighborhood coalitions and sharing resources and knowledge can significantly enhance collective resilience. Reliance on FEMA often fosters a false sense of security, leading to complacency that can be devastating during actual emergencies. Conversely, a well-informed community equipped with the necessary tools and strategies for independent action is far better positioned to withstand and recover from disasters. Chapter 6: Community and Local Resources. One of the key strategies in creating a resilient and prepared community is leveraging local organizations and community groups for support. While FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, ostensibly aims to support these local initiatives, there are often hidden agendas that undermine genuine community empowerment. Firstly, FEMA's policies can sometimes prioritize federal control over local autonomy. Rather than empowering local organizations to take the lead, FEMA's involvement can come with strings attached, dictating how resources should be used, and focusing more on compliance to federal guidelines than on addressing the unique needs of each community. Working with neighbors to create a resilient community lies at the heart of true emergency preparedness. Unfortunately, FEMA's top-down approach can stymie grassroots efforts. By imposing standardized protocols that might not necessarily fit the local context, FEMA can stifle the organic growth of local initiatives. Instead of fostering genuine collaboration among neighbors, local groups often find themselves wrestling with bureaucratic hurdles and navigating an intricate web of red tape that drains time and resources away from their primary mission of building community resilience. Another critical area where FEMA's hidden agendas come into play is in the provision of resources and contacts for local emergency preparedness. Frequently, the agency earmarks resources based on political motivations rather than objective need assessments. This can lead to disparities where certain communities, often those with less political clout, receive inadequate support. Moreover, the centralized nature of FEMA's resource distribution can result in delays and inefficiencies, as opposed to a model that empowers local agencies to act swiftly and decisively. FEMA's approach towards local emergency preparedness often involves an over-reliance on their own methodologies and data sources, which may not always align with on-the-ground realities. This disjunction can result in inappropriate or ineffective solutions being deployed, discrediting local agencies in the eyes of the community they serve. It's not uncommon for local leaders to find themselves in a tug-of-war, having to choose between adhering to FEMA's directives or addressing the actual needs of their community. Moreover, the one-size-fits-all model propagated by FEMA undermines the unique socio-cultural fabric of different communities. Local emergency preparedness should inherently be shaped by the specific challenges, resources, and strengths of a community. FEMA's insistence on uniformity overlooks the intricate nuances that make every community distinct. This not only hampers the effectiveness of preparedness efforts, but also leads to a sense of disenfranchisement among local residents, who might feel that their specific concerns and insights are being overlooked. FEMA's involvement is further complicated by the strategic alliances it forms with certain corporations and contractors. These relationships can lead to scenarios where profit motives overshadow the primary goal of community safety. By outsourcing critical aspects of emergency management to private entities, FEMA can inadvertently foster an environment where financial interests take precedence over effective disaster response. In conclusion, it is evident that FEMA's hidden agendas and the shortcomings in their emergency planning and response strategies can have significant implications for families. The agency's politicization of resource allocation and its tendency towards centralized control undermine local autonomy and can result in inadequate and delayed support during emergencies. These practices not only jeopardize the equitable distribution of aid, but also foster a false sense of security that can have devastating consequences during actual disasters. To mitigate these risks, it is crucial for families to take control of their own safety through meticulous preparation. By customizing their emergency kits, forming neighborhood coalitions, and engaging in community education, individuals can ensure they are equipped to handle prolonged disruptions without relying solely on FEMA. Empowering oneself and one's community with the necessary tools and strategies for independent action is pivotal in building resilience and true preparedness. Final thoughts underscore the importance of vigilance and continuous effort in emergency preparedness. While regional and federal agencies have roles to play, an over-reliance on them can lead to complacency. Families should remain proactive in reassessing their preparedness plans, adapting to new threats, and fostering a culture of mutual support and resilience within their communities. In uncertain times, the adage rings true. Preparedness is not just a plan, but a promise to oneself and loved ones to be ready for any situation.